They popped up. Oh, we selling. Oh, that's right. You ain't timeout because I just thought about it. Nah, for that earlier conversation, nah, you can go ahead back and timeout. I just thought about that.
We ended up putting y'all at number 8 overall at highest. That's the
Nah,
highest.
you got to still go back. No, you
Yeah,
still
no,
got to go to timeout.
maybe number 9. I mean, I can lower y'all down to like 31,
What was the
but
conversation? I must have missed it.
the
All right.
conversation.
So the conversation before we get started was where does the Eagles rank in the top 10? Because we said that the Eagles was top 10. I had
No,
them
no,
top
you
five
said they
at
were top 5.
five. I got them top five at five. Mike said something wild like number 12 or something like that. So Mike has to go to timeout so that he can calm himself down. That's why we
The,
got him outside,
the
ladies and
the
gentlemen.
real number is 8. That's the real number I have.
Okay, well, if the real number is 8, that's a more fair argument. I still don't
But
believe that
it's
there's
not number
seven
5
more
though.
teams.
I can
I
name
still don't
7.
believe
I
there's
can name
seven
7
teams.
teams better than the
But
Eagles right now.
we can discuss that in the next 5 seconds. But right now, every game, every era, every fan, you're listening to Squad Sportcast, 4 brothers, 1 mic, all sports. Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye, scholars and fair maidens. A new Crash King is among us all. But who is it? Well, unanimous in the vote and prone to strike at any point in time. Your new Crash King is none other than myself, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. The viewers voted and voted me the Crash King, the
That's
newest
what's
Crash
good.
King. So
Yes,
I'm
sir.
taking these next 30 seconds because I don't know who did it. I don't know how y'all voted for me, how y'all even figured that I was Crash King material. We had the emergency committee was ready to give Jordan his 6. He was about to be 6 for 6. I don't know how we got here, but we're here somehow, ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? It is what it is. I ain't too mad about it. We gonna let bygones be bygones. It is what it is. Uh, just before we move on, like I said, we want to thank all of our subscribers, everybody who's liked the pages, everybody who's commented, who's shared, who's offered to comments on TikTok. I'm still battling with these LeBron stands till this day. I don't know why. Still battling it out. 200 comments later, but still to everybody, including most importantly, our 41 subscribers. Thank you all. We are on the road to 100 subscribers. So please, 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 if you like what's going on, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It's free for everybody. Share it, post it to your friends. Let us know in the comments what you thinking. We also like to shout out a few of our commenters that was on, uh, especially Ken and Lady Script. We like to appreciate them for their comments during the last broadcast. Um, but with that being said, let's get into it. NCAA March Madness is upon us, and the fellas are excited about it. One person, however, who's not very excited is none other than Syracuse women's head coach, who recently just went viral, uh, begging for something to do so that they can stop playing UConn. So, the fellas, is it just bad bracket luck? Or is it really saying something about where Syracuse stands in the competition and the standard that UConn has for itself? Let's really talk about it.
Okay, so I'll lead off. I think that I don't think Syracuse is competitive against UConn as they weren't in the game that they played. UConn is better at recruiting, has a better record, has a better reputation. They're drafted, they're having more 5 stars coming all the time. I think that they need to get better as a team. Syracuse does and get better at coaching, get better at recruiting in order to compete. Here's the thing: UConn is not an undefeated team. this season or last season or even the season for that matter, right? So they can be beat, but you have to be a team like South Carolina that's out recruiting them and that hired a fantastic coach, a Hall of Fame coach there, right? You had to be a team like in Iowa, right, who had a superstar there with Caitlin Clark and then built around it, right? You had to have a team like LSU who has a bunch of studs out there that they've recruited for thinking outside the box in regards to their recruiting. Syracuse at the moment can't compete because they're not doing any of those things. They're barely competitive in men's college basketball. They have a reputation of being competitive previously with Carmelo Anthony and McNamara and that kind of stack there when they were going through it, especially when they were in the Big East. I think when uh, Syracuse, if I'm not mistaken, I thought they may be in another conference now. I can't remember if they're in the Big East or if they switched to the ACC. I think they're in the ACC, but it's more competitive in that space now, and now it's more difficult to rise above their standard. Um, I don't know that they've had bad bracket luck. Getting that team as a number in the second round is rough, but here's the key: if you get better, then you won't face them that early. You could have faced them in the finals if you were good enough. Not that I think UConn's getting to the finals. To be honest, I think South Carolina's a better team. I think LSU is a better team. Um, There's a couple of others that I think are better teams. South Carolina's looking like a beast. Don't be wrong, UConn's looking great. I'm not here to diminish UConn. They're actually looking like a great team, but especially the way that they smacked Syracuse. But I think that I think South Carolina is just on a different level. Um, and then I'm a Duke fan as well, so anytime Duke is up there, I got to root for them. But yeah, I think it's gonna be an interesting season. I'm excited about it. And yeah, Jordan, I'll pass it to you.
So sometimes when it comes to these things, it's pretty much luck of the draw. And unfortunately, what do they say with Ric Flair? In order to beat the man, you got to beat the man, or in this case, the woman. Um, UConn is the woman in this case. It's sometimes just unfortunate luck. I did see that Syracuse in the last 5 years ran up on UConn 3 times and got ducked on. So I understand the frustration. It's like the AFC facing Tom Brady in the 2010s. Every single time. It's like, we got to face Brady again, BTA. And keep in mind, this was when the Patriots weren't cheating and they still BTA'd everybody. Uh, it's unfortunate. Um, UConn is in an upper echelon of its league. They're on a league of their own. I mean, it's not like we're gonna have some anomalies like when I forgot her name from Mississippi State. She was a short girl. She made a buzzer beater to beat them. When Notre Dame beat UConn a few years ago to get to the championship when Enrique Ogunbowale made the shot. It's not like you got to be spectacular to beat UConn. You got to have everything lined up, and a lot of teams don't have that. UConn pretty much found their way back. Hey, they got the squad, and I mean, of course, you got Gina Auriemma as probably one of the best women coaches of all time, if not the best one. So yeah, it's just luck of the draw. They're feeling very orange about it. I mean, I get it; they're angry, but it just is what it is.
Well, here's my whole thing, and Mike touched on it. So I'm gonna triple down on it. Win more, win more. Like my thing is, if I'm correct, Mike said it. Syracuse plays, I think, in the ACC. So with that being said, if you're upset about having to face UConn, and keep in mind, Mike just said it as well. UConn's not like the perennial, like the number one team out there. Like, we're not just diminishing UConn. UConn is a dominant. If you want to say legacy, a dynasty, maybe perhaps that might be a bit of a reach, but UConn is definitely like the upper echelon of great basketball teams. So at the end of the day, win more. Be the number one seed. Then you ain't got to worry about facing UConn until the Elite Eight, Final Four. You got to face them in the Final Four at that point. Win more games. Win the ACC. Like, my thing is, we're making a whole lot of excuses for being mid, and you're still getting to the NCAA, the March Madness tournament, and then complaining about, oh, well, we had to face number one. Like, Norfolk State didn't make that claim when they beat what's the name? Oh, Marquette.
Yeah,
They didn't
but
complain about that.
the the only reason I'll give Syracuse, and especially the head coach, some bail money is because it's a lot of numbers that come into play when it comes to whom you play in the tournament, strength of
Right.
schedule. Um,
Nah, we not giving no play money out here. This ain't
no,
Monopoly.
I'm
We not
serious.
giving no extra chances.
That's how teams get selected. Like Norfolk State was like 30-4, the women's team, and they had to go up on a 16 seed. They were the 16 seed. They got up on the one. They lost by like 35 or 40, but they earned every single point. But still, their strength of schedule. I mean, Norfolk State was the cream of the crop when it came to the MEAC for women's basketball, but there were some weak teams. So they're being up on weak teams, yes, but not teams of strength. So your strength of schedule is not going to be great with along with other metrics, which is why they are in that 16 spot. When you're a weak conference going for an at tournament bid, you're going to get at least anywhere from 13 to 16, and then out of that or the first four in.
But they were 9, Jordan. They were 9. They were 9.
No,
let me
Norfolk State
make
was
sure.
15. Was 14. The most Norfolk State was is 14.
I'm talking about Syracuse though.
Syracuse 9, but they by name they got that, but also by their schedule they got that, and by wins too. But the problem is that it's UConn. I mean, the numbers just kind of line up the same. The same teams keep going to the big dance every single time. I mean,
So,
what more can they expect? It's either going to be UConn, it's going to be South Carolina, LSU, Notre Dame, maybe TCU. I mean,
that's what I was gonna say.
what else
Like,
you going to
at
expect? It's
this
the
point,
same teams. So it's not. I understand where you're coming from. I understand that. Hey, get better, get good, but at the same time, you gotta. It's gonna eat at you when you keep on coming up against the same monster, which is UConn. It's like, bro, like, can we get a break? They lost by like 50, right? So it it just is what it is. They gotta get good. They gotta do better.
well, yes, you have to get good. And there's not an excuse if you play the same team 3 times within years and then do not go over the hump. The other thing is you have the NIL. So again, if you don't want to have to face them, get good, recruit better. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you at this point. Like, we're giving all this bail money out. We are not the government, and they are not the big bank corporations. We're not doing this. No, you have every opportunity to not only make a powerhouse team, you have every opportunity to be a powerhouse team.
There
If
has
you
been
don't want to play against UConn,
on the men's and women's side. We're not just going to act like there isn't. I mean, if unless you're a big star in the women's sector, like you were Angel Reese, or let's say current ones like Ashley Budd or Olivia Miles or Hannah Hidalgo, getting that bread because they were in the big power teams, but they got that notoriety and they got a good deal. Okay, but the others they're not going to get as big deals, so teams aren't going to be able to attract those local powerhouse recruits. The women's
Wait, Jordan.
they have a
In
bigger
the
ladder.
in the era of NIL, it's an even playing field comparatively. They could have paid more money for Ansley Flood. They could have paid more money for old girl from USC, Juju, right? They could have paid more money for a lot of people. We can't. And Syracuse has big pockets. They're a big team. They're a big school, right? We can't diminish that. Now, are they UConn? They're not. But they could be UConn if they decide to pay up to do it. There's other teams that have paid up to do it. Um, to compete, and they've been quite competitive. I think that you have to go back to the beginnings of it and figure out First off, who's worth it? Two, what your development program looks like. Three, what your value proposition is. And then four, understand that in the conference that you're in, from the Big East transitioning to the ACC, in the ACC, you have to be competitive differently, right? Like, for example, Syracuse is a big academic school. Maybe we need to change academic standards in order to recruit, or maybe we need to put more money in the coffers in order to hire better. To add better student athletes, or maybe we need to get the better at development. Like there has to be a pathway there. And the thing is that because of the NIL evening the playing field, I don't think that we can just cast them aside as like, oh, well, you can't recruit local talent. No, no, no. The NIL exists. They can recruit wherever they want.
It's crazy how we're saying that Syracuse is an academic school, but they haven't had the best success athletically, but they still have some success nonetheless. So it's a testament to how good some of those players are. They may not be the best, but they're still good. That
My my thing is, I'm not diminishing the player. I don't think either any of one of us are diminishing the players and their effort. Not at any point at all whatsoever. We're not diminishing that. What we are saying though is, it's just like Mike said. Number one, pay the money. The college don't want to pay the money. It's a big name school. I, if you were saying that it was something like maybe Norfolk State, that's one thing. But Syracuse is a top name school. I'm sorry, people talk about Syracuse. They do from plenty of different states. They talk about Syracuse. They talk about Miami. They talk about UNC. They talk about all of these, all the teams that are currently in the Sweet 16 right now. They talk about these teams, with the exception of maybe a one or two who is shocking the world right now. But outside of that, these teams it's the development outside of that. Like if you want big names, go pay for big name money. And then outside of that, because we talk about this all the time with the NFL, we talk about how teams look good on paper, but it depends on the play calling. It depends on other things, how they mesh together, how they meld together. Execution wise, development wise, it plays into a lot. So I'm sorry, we're not giving cookie points for them just being there. If you're going to complain about, oh, well, we're playing the same team over and over again and getting bounced, then either develop them better or look inward at this point. Because at this point, if you've been here this whole time and you've been getting bounced by UConn, the problem's not the players, it's not the money, it might be you.
So what I'll say to that too is that what changed it for South Carolina is that they hired Don Staley, right? What changed it for UConn was that they hired Gino Auriemma. What changed it for Duke from the men's side was that they hired Coach K, right? They changed it for Indiana was they hired Bobby Knight. Like we can keep going on and on in this type of reference. Maybe they need to look at retired WNBA players to be the next coach. Maybe like a Diana Taurasi being the next coach. Maybe a Sue Bird being the next coach. Maybe getting somebody like a Candace Parker being the next coach or a Maya Moore being the next coach. One, that's going to draw the talent that you're looking for. It's going to increase the NIL money. It's going to make you competitive and it will level the playing field. But if you're not hiring these women and you're looking elsewhere, in regards to your talent pool from your coaches, then your talent pool as far as players are going to look elsewhere as well. So I don't think we can just blame, oh, you're in a rough conference, oh, UConn's a powerhouse, oh, da 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 da. No, historically speaking, especially in March Madness, other teams have made the playoffs. The random breaking news: Hubert Davis, UNC head coach, will not be returning next year after them getting bounced in the tournament. I know Marv gotta love that after they got bounced in the first round. But my point is that in the time frame of NIL, you need to go after a coach that can match that level of NIL or raise that NIL coffer. And you do that by hiring a WNBA legend, Tamika Catchings. If Tamika Catchings is the head coach of the Syracuse Orange, they're going to be getting fantastic recruits there, right? If Lisa Leslie is the head coach of Syracuse, they're going to be getting fantastic talent. Diana Taurasi, we can keep going on and on. We've gone through the list of the greatest out there. A Cheryl Swoops, right? You get Cheryl Swoops out there, bro, you're going crazy. So I think in this era of NIL, we have to rethink advantage and opportunity coaches have and the impact that they have, as opposed to looking at it just from a monetary perspective. This level playing field, anybody can pay you. But now the question is who can develop you. And I think that's where it comes in at.
Yeah, I think you make a great point in that. Like, I think now we got to look at XW and NBA players probably getting in there, but then it's going to be up to whether or not they can do it, because that's at the point we're at right now with, say, like Mike Vick at Norfolk State or Deshaun Jackson at what's this called, Delaware State. Like, can you actually develop these young men and women to be a championship caliber team? Like, that's the point that we're going to be at right now. Like, how are you going to be able to do that? And it's really not for everybody.
But here's the thing: neither Mike Vick nor Deshaun Jackson is a Hall of Famer. No disrespect to them or their career. The people I just mentioned are Hall of Famers in their sport. Diana Taurasi, Catchings, right? Sue Bird, right? Keep going on and on. Can you imagine if Cynthia Miller was the head coach at Syracuse? What? Do you know how many people would be going to Syracuse right now? It
Bruh.
would be amazing, because you got to remember when Pat Summitt was coach at Tennessee, Tennessee was in that mix,
They
right?
was up there.
Way up there. So we can't all of a sudden, oh, because of NIL and we can't get the local market teams. No, no, no. You have the money. Now you need to pay for the coach and start developing these players.
Yep. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. All right. Well, the final question is, do you think she's mad or big mad? That's the only other final question. But I think we all got it out there if she's big mad at this point.
She needs a cape.
You said what?
She needs a cape.
Oh, so she could be super mad. I got you. Because at this point, like I said, I think it's really about looking inward. It might be about inward and coaching. Well, speaking of, we're going to move on to the NBA. And is it really backtracking? So, NBA is reportedly considering rule changes to eliminate the whole 65 game minimum for end of year awards. And also, they've talked about shortening the regular season schedule. So, of course, 65 game rule is placed in to kind of stop this whole load management deal. But critics say it's actually keeping deserving stars out of MVP. Also, one of the other things that's developing with Cade Cunningham, he had missed 61 games and now is in threat of losing a potential MVP because of his collapsed lung. So the question is, should the NBA reward players who dominate when they play or players who show up night after night? And if the league cuts the games, what does that mean for records, stats, and the history of the sport?
You want to go first, Mike? Because I'm going to win Crash King for this, just for this topic alone. Because
I'll go first. Make it easy, no problem.
I got something to say.
I think that them cutting games just means that you ain't gonna be able to beat LeBron's records, and LeBron will be further established as a go. Sounds great to me. Second thing is that Jordan's been talking about it. We are giving these players PTO and then trying to give them additional credit because they have a big name. I think that's excessive. I think that instead of it being tied to a certain number of games, it should be tied to a percentage of games that you have to play in order to hit your metrics there, as far as being qualified for All NBA or MVP or any of the things. The interesting thing is that I think consistency over the course of the season matters much more. Because, for example, like if we give an NBA example, that's like Jalen Hurts. Let's just say Jalen Hurts for the sake of conversation. Jalen Hurts crushes it the first 4 weeks of the season and then plays mediocre the rest of the season. And y'all like, oh, Jalen Hurts for MVP because he threw for 500 yards the first 4 games of the season. 500 yards a game, first 4 games of the season. Well, yeah, he started off hot, but he didn't finish that strong. Versus somebody that first game of the season dropped, had 300. Next game they had 280. Next game they had 4 touchdowns. Next game they had et cetera, et cetera. And they built up in the whole season. Then they're playing like Matthew Stafford, and now they deserve to win the MVP. I think the thing has to be take into consideration when it comes to NBA as well. We can't be talking about highlight moments because everybody's got a highlight. It's the year of it's the time of social media, right? Everybody's got a highlight. Everybody can use Canva. Everybody can use Opus Clips or get out there and just start putting out highlight tape after highlight tape. This is not and one, right? This is the NBA. This is the most professional league possible when it comes to one of the hardest games to play as far as really developing your skills. If over time the best ability is availability, and if you can't be available, then to me you should not be able to win those end of season awards. I'll pass to you, Jordan.
All right, so now all of a sudden, because Cade Cunningham, no disrespect to Cade Cunningham, now all of a sudden, because he has a punctured lung, because he's coughing up a bunch of stuff, now all of a sudden they want to talk about the 65 game thing. We've been telling y'all that 65 game rule thing is stupid. The only reason they probably were doing it is probably because of LeBron James, that he was doing good every single year and he had all NBA team every single year, and he may not have played all the games. And they probably did this. It's probably Kawhi's fault too. But it's stupid because you can't predict injuries. You cannot mitigate injury chance. You can't. It's a freak accident of nature. We just saw it happen a few nights ago. Moses Moody from the Warriors was playing against the Dallas Mavericks. They were doing mopping. We were just talking to Marv about this like 30 minutes ago. They were mopping on the floor, and they mopped again right before they got back on the court. Freak accident. His knee looked like it was bolting out of his socket. Now he has some like a torn patellar tendon or something in his left knee, and he's out for the season. Having a great year, but a freak accident like that happens, and you're talking about now wanting to take away the 65 game thing. No, keep it. No, stand on business. Y'all wanted to change it because y'all were mad that people were getting certain awards and others weren't, and y'all wanted to spread the wealth, give participation trophies. No, stand on it. Let lay in the bed that y'all made. And as far as these shortening the season, no. 82 games. We staying with 82 games. You're gonna let these players play. You're gonna let these ballers ball. Y'all just need to stay with what y'all got. Shortening the amount of games is not gonna manipulate the chance for injuries to not happen. Players just gotta know how to play. Y'all got hella teams in the G League. Y'all got hella players in the G League. You can sub them out anytime if a player's tight. Shortening the games is not going to do anything. It's not going to diminish the quality of the sport. These players just have to play better. Like I'm sick of the NBA PA having all these dumbass issues about the league having problems. They know what the problem is. They it is somehow all circles back to LeBron in some way, shape, or form. Because they were so mad at him, they had to change up all the rules. And now look at what y'all got. Y'all got all the good players out that now can't get NBA awards because of a stupid 65 game rule that y'all decided to do because of low management. I'm talking to you, Kawhi. All of a sudden you're playing good, and now everybody else is playing bad. Imagine that. I they got me sick. They got me tight when they said that. I'm like, nah. Stand on what you said. Stand on what you did. Do let the rules be what they are, and let the travesty happen when y'all having to do first all NBA teams and MVP counts. The MVP is probably gonna be Thanasis because he's a bench cheerer, and the first all NBA is gonna probably be whom Clint Capella or something. I don't know. Somebody. It's y'all fault. PA, like we're not letting you get out the woods with this one.
All right, so I'm gonna change my hat real quick. Y'all hold on one second. I'm gonna grab my wife's hat real quick. All right, cool. So
Shout out to
right.
Hawaii.
Yeah. Shout out to Hawaii. So your attempt at the Crash King title was nice. Let a real one do it. As the defending Crash King, let me help you out here. I'm gonna answer my inner Stephen A. So here's a couple notes I have on the 82 games, right? So, of course, we've been playing 82 games since the 60s, right? So keep in mind, it was mainly due to money and arena scheduling. So they pushed for longer schedules, the owners did, because it meant more ticket revenue, better concessions, and local TV money. So the local stations were able to generate more money as well. Also, they had shared arenas with hockey teams. They shared arenas with other concerts and other events. So it made the 60 to 70 games that they did have, it was kind of tough. Um, so keep in mind, um, within the 50s and early 60s, they were playing around 72 to 80 games. So since 1967, we've been playing 82 games since. So, with that being said, it's 41 home games and 41 road games. So, it's an even split down the middle. So, also, the addition of new teams such as the San Diego Rockets, who are now the Houston Rockets, and the Seattle Supersonics, who are now the OKC Thunder. Adding them helped to standardize the 82 games and make it straight down the center. What's more interesting is a lot of players, including y'all overrated king, LeBron James, said that the NBA should be shortening the season to 70 to 75 games to reduce injury and load management. When we talk about players and then load management being the thing, I don't think shortening the season is going to be something that's going to help, because I've been on the hill, and a lot of people and players have been on this hill as well. You have families that can't afford the tickets that it costs to get into these stadiums because of inflation. That's a different conversation for a different channel. If you want to go talk politics, go elsewhere. We ain't here for that. But these families are scraping up their nickels and dimes in order to save up the money to buy the tickets to see their favorite player play. It is absolutely ridiculous that any player, if you got a thumb injury, a pinky toe injury, a simple left wrist injury, like a non essential injury, and you're trying to take out because it doesn't feel right. Like I might get out of rhythm. Like we've had people like Kobe Bryant shooting 2 free throws on an ACL tear, popping the ACL and still shooting 2 free throws. Like, and not one tear at all. Like no grimace, nothing. What's up?
To add on to your point, it was interesting for anybody who I'm not promoting their show, but whoever watched it is what it is. One of Cam and Mason's first episodes was talking about load management, and it mentioned your exact point. When with players that play in the West Coast go to the East Coast, that is the probably the one time a kid from, let's say, New York or a kid from Boston will be able to see that person play. Like, let's just say John Morant before the Guns just came out to play, right? If he has some maybe a strain on the ankle and he doesn't feel like playing, let's just say the father is a garbage man. Garbage man scraped up every single thing that he could to get his little boy to see John Morant's favorite player play, and he's not playing. He's on the sideline. That kid might be crushed because now because of you wanting to sit out, the kid is not going to get to see his dream player play. The load management thing is not good, and I understand LeBron may have been the catalyst that started it, but he still played in these games. He still played, so I'm not going to be the one that lays the crown on him as far as the blame.
But I mean, I'll defend him in this point because there has been some reports where LeBron has went back-to-back games and been completely exhausted, and AR-15 was like, hell, I wanted to take a night off too, but I seen LeBron suiting up, getting ready, and I'm like, I'm not about to let this 41-year-old outplay me, so I'm about to suit up and play. So I defend them a little bit on that because there have been games where, you know, they went back to back and LeBron had to go out there completely gas. It is what it is. But still, like, Kawhi can take the blame for it all. But my thing is, like, at the end of the day, like, if you can suit up and play and not cause a complete injury, like, if the doctor's like, you're good, you should be playing. Now, I get you might not trust the team doctors because some of them team doctors be doing some crazy stuff. We're not going to talk about that either. Again, this ain't the channel for that. That goes somewhere else with that. But if you have a good doctor that you trust, and the doctor's like, man, you're okay. It's just a slight little sprain. After the next game, take a rest. You'll be all right. Go play. Just like you said, like for some people, just like for us, like for me and Jordan, we're in Virginia right now. Our closest basketball game is either driving to North Carolina, which is 3 hours away, or driving up to Washington, D.C., which is 3 hours away, to go watch the Wizards or the Bobcats.
Hornets.
Whoever. At this point in time, look,
Mike will say Bobcats.
Like our option at this point to watch somebody great is pray like the Lakers fly in to play an away game against the Hornets or the away game against the bum Wizards.
I mean, I love Trae Young, no doubt. But I would rather go see LaMelo Ball play.
Exactly.
Options.
So if I drive 3 hours down, I'm not driving 3 hours down to watch, say, Bam Adebayo sit down because he's like, I just dropped 83 the other night. I don't feel like playing. And you know how lazy that sounds? Where's your pride as a professional player? Like, you get to have fun doing this. That's just like
feel as bad as these people who bet on games and don't cash on their parlays. It's getting that bad.
It's crazy because it's not about you at this point. It is about you for majority of it, but you not playing when you have the ability to play takes everything into account. It takes bets. People bet on y'all. People bet against y'all. People bet based on what you can do. People bet on what you won't do.
Could you say that low management is possibly a reason that there are so many under bets now on these apps?
No, I think the reason for that is because, say, like, teams get into hot streaks. Say, like, for LA, the Lakers have been on a tear lately. Luka, AR, and LeBron, they've been on a tear lately and sitting at the number 3 seed, and they're trying to try and get the number 2 seed. But the recent loss to the Detroit Pistons is like, oh, well, what happened? Like, it's a Vegas thing. Come on now. Like, I need y'all to pay attention. It's a Vegas thing. Eventually, Vegas is going to win. You need y'all to understand.
House will eventually win.
House going to win that money one way or another. Like, LA won't go ride off to the sunset and win the rest of their games. No, they're going to get a loss here and there, and then they're going to move on, course correct, and get ready for the playoffs. Because at the end of the day, they don't have to play in it. They can ride off the number 3, as long as they beat Houston coming up. They can ride off into the sunset as the number 3 seed and keep that going. They can coast at this point in time. So I get it. Like, even if you don't play, like, at least start and play a majority of the minutes so that somebody can see, like, the inspiration to the next generation. Like, you understand the players that you're, like, for LeBron, understand the players that you're playing, their sons or the people watching, their sons are watching you play, and they're going to get inspired to play and elevate the game of basketball. So it's about you, but at the end of the day, that bottom line is it's not about you. There's so much more that is in the future of the game. Now to the 65 game award, because Mike mentioned a certain percentage, and it's crazy because I kind of put the numbers together, and at 65 games versus an 82 total series, that's about 79%. That's actually a little under 80% of the games. So are you saying that it should be a little higher than 80, like somewhere near that 85, 90? Like, where do you think that number should be? Because 80% of the games is a good amount of games to ask somebody to play if you want them to get end of the year awards. And I mean, like, freak accidents happen all the time. We talk about it all the time. If Jalen Hurts didn't get injured for those 2, 3 games, Jalen Hurts looking at an MVP right now. So I
Y'all
need
still
you
wouldn't
kind
have
of
won,
defend that for a
but
little
it's
bit.
cool. My bad. I just thought we was talking about how Jalen Hurts didn't win a title or also didn't win the MVP. But anyway, since we're talking about low management, right? I think that I also have to. I think we have to understand the type of game that they're playing. If any of us have played basketball, which we have, running up and down the court that much is exhausting on your body. Having to jump, shoot, rebound, play defense, play offense, do the moves, cross ups, dribbles, and then you're playing against the top people in the world. I do think that they need a break. But what I will say is that again, that's why I think there needs to be a percentage threshold of how many games you're allowed to miss in order to qualify for these All NBA awards, these MVP awards. I don't think that we necessarily have to do it on a number of games because again, if they shift how much many games are in the season, then now you have to shift how many games to qualify for. If you just shift it to a percentage of games that you have to play, then now there's some load management built in. Do I think load management is great for the game? No. Do I understand it? Absolutely. It's a difficult sport to play. Like you imagine, for example, tennis, right? Tennis is one of the most difficult games to play out there, right? And then if they had to play 82 games in a season playing tennis, do you know how exhausted these people would be? How
I
many
would quit
injuries
after
they would
game
have,
10.
right? Do you know how many injuries they would have? How how much PTO they'd have to take?
Their
And you
knees
know
would
what
be
game
done.
the game I just started playing recently because I got a new podcast I'm doing, ranges in real estate. But I just started golfing. Do you know how difficult it is to golf? And that's just standing there. You know what I mean? But
Former
it's the
golfer.
swing and the follow through and all the things, right? It's not. These things aren't easy. These are above average, above regular human levels. So I think that we have to give them some grace in understanding more about the sport and not just understanding them as an athlete. Yes, they're preparing their life for this. Yes, they're running and exercising and et cetera for this. But if you are playing back-to-back games while traveling across country on a plane, hours and hours of flying, right? Even though you're getting ice, you're getting a massage, you're getting all the things, then you have to run and do it all over again running and sprinting and jumping against the somebody that's 6'10", 6'11", 7'6", and you got to go and score and be dynamic and be amazing. And if you miss one shot, everybody's like, "Oh, I think LeBron's lost a step." If you miss one rebound, they're like, "Oh, he's no Dennis Rodman." Like you're competing against greatness.
It
And don't get
makes
me
what
wrong,
women's doing more amazing.
greatness doesn't necessarily take breaks or days off. But what I will say is that your body needs a chance to heal in order for you to be excellent for longer. And that's where load management comes in. Do I think it's amazing? Absolutely not. Do I think that it's necessary in today's NBA? Absolutely. Because again, of the travel, of the commute, of who they're playing, of how hard they're going in the paint. So
I'm with you on the grace thing. But quick sidebar. Let me know how that handicap go, Mike. When you get that handicap below a certain level, come holla at your boy. But I'm with you on the giving grace part because, like I said, former athlete, I golf and soccer, so I understand that running. Shout out to Coach Hess. She know who she is. Um, it's different. My thing is the load management takes away from the entire experience, and maybe like we got to look at something. Either maybe capping minutes. We can probably cap minutes because minutes played is a thing as well. If you're out there playing 50, 60 minutes, you're running a high risk of injuries as well. Um, we could also look into extending the what's called extending the season because you have preseason in early October. You can probably either shorten the preseason and space out the actual NBA season, like the NBA games. Like we can
or
limit the back-to-back games that we have because I know
or
NFL players already complain about having to play on Sunday and then turn around and play on Thursday for that very next week. That turnaround is already brutal enough as far as the NFL.
or do what the Spurs do, extend your rotation. That's why you rarely had any injuries out of the San Antonio Spurs back in the day because they played 10 or 11 deep. So you were guaranteed to get a fresh body on the court at least 80-90% of the game. So they extend their rotation. A lot of teams don't. They'll go 7 to 9 deep, and they wonder why these players are complaining about the time they're playing.
But you got all these supermax contracts. I'm sorry. You got all the supermax contracts. How are you going to afford to have depth when you're paying 2 and 3 stars at least 200 mil or even 150 mil? Like we talk business, like me and Mike, we businessmen out here. Like we do this as far as business. Like it costs to have to do it. And if you're paying 2 and 3 people at least 150 mil, you're already half a mil in. And you haven't even accounted for the rest of the team. You ain't accounted for the head coach. You ain't accounted for the assistant coach. You ain't accounted for the janitors, who's doing concessions, who's doing ticketing, who's doing security. There is a lot of things that we place in that we have to pay. And like as far as salaries for the team, if you're always shelling out 50, 150, 200 mil, 300 million to all of these players because you don't want them to go elsewhere versus, hey, if I can construct a team and have depth pieces around, I can eliminate my injuries and stuff like that. But of course, as a business management major, it's all about the data. So there's a lot of data out there that's telling them, hey, look, you're not going to find another Luka. You're not finding another Giannis. You're not finding another Jason Tatum. You're going to be back into, purgatory, not competing for a championship. So it's a lot numerically that deals with it, as well as the individual that's playing into it. That's just my take on it.
I understand. I get the money perspective. I'm not the most business savvy y'all been managers or managing things, so yeah, I give credence to y'all on that. But I'm just looking at it, I guess, from like the most authentic perspective as a fan. Yeah, you got your players that have the super max, but you also have players that are making 80 to 90 to 100 mil, and they're not even close to the max. But yeah, that's still a lot of money. So yeah, you're gonna have they might be your 10th or 11th man, but they still gonna get that burn. That's why I said extend your rotations so that way you can have these players come off the court and have them healthy. Like have your super maxes healthy. Don't put the whole burden on them. I understand they're the superstars, but you don't put the whole burden of the team on them. That's how these teams don't have the ability to be super teams or like dynasty teams. They get burnt out after the first 1 or 2 years.
I mean, we put the same pressure on Patrick Mahomes. We put the same pressure on Josh Allen. We put the same pressure on Lamar Jackson. And they turn around and they give great results. End of the year, it might be something different as far as competing for a title, but you're paying for the product. Say that right now. If I'm correct, Luka has a near supermax contract. Lakers are number 3 right now. SGA got the bag.
Luka's not even close to the super max. You got that's like Jason Tatum right now or Jaylen Brown with that $308 million.
That's because Dallas screwed him over. Again, that is something for another sports channel to discuss.
That's Boston.
Not here. But you got all of the stars getting paid. Jason Tatum got paid. Jaylen Brown got paid.
That's why I just mentioned.
But they just won a championship not too long ago. So I understand. Like Steph Curry got a super max contract. He's got 4 titles. Draymond Green, we kind of a little shaky, but he got the titles.
And just
So
for numbers purpose, Jason Tatum 313 million, Jaylen Brown 304.
For the record, don't ever put Draymond Green in a conversation about a super max deal.
Like,
That's all I got to say. This man has averaged a quadruple single his entire career.
I
I do
know.
not want to hear it.
I mean, I know being green is all about the money, but yeah, don't do that again.
they paid the man. It
They
may
ain't
not
pay
be
him no,
super.
they did not pay him a super
But
max.
They ain't paying on
he's
super
also
max.
a Swiss Army knife, so that's intangible worth right there. He can defend his ass off, so that I'll accept that.
That's what I'm saying. Like at the end of the day, we're paying these stars to perform at the highest level, and they've exhibited that level of high performance throughout the regular season. Because of them, they brought in the ticket revenue, they brought the sales in, they're getting the concessions, their jerseys are getting sales. So I understand because again, when we talk about NBA versus WNBA, we talk about what that revenue share looks like. And that revenue share is a little different when you're talking about Steph Curry bringing in sales versus Caitlin Clark bringing in sales. When we talk about Luka bringing in sales versus Angel Reese bringing in sales, two totally different concepts at this point.
And just for
But
numbers purpose, although that's the number total wise, the highest right now is Steph Curry at 59 mil, but SGA might break that with it said record breaking 285 over 4 years, so it might be in the 70s. I think Wemby might have probably the biggest contract ever in the next couple of years.
if Wemby wins one for them, I will understand it. If Wemby wins one, because keep in mind, the reason why they paid SGA is because he won it.
It's either Wemby or Ant, but one of them is going to have that 70, 80 million. They're going to have probably the biggest contract we ever seen.
I think they're going to give it to Ant-Man.
This is what I'll tell you. I think that there needs to be a salary cap in that capacity. There needs to be a limit on a threshold of how much money you could put towards one player, because I do think these salaries are getting a bit out of whack. And it's from an entertainment factor, and they have a revenue sharing stream, and they have a collective bargaining agreement, and I got that they got these media deals. I got all that. Cool. I don't think that one player is worth that amount of money for that team, especially in basketball. Now, in football, a quarterback making that much money makes a lot of sense because they literally control the entire game. They're the ones deciding to pass the ball. They're the ones deciding to run the ball. They're the ones setting the offenses. They're the ones throwing it. They're the ones, running it. They're the ones risking their lives. They're the one everybody is coming after. In basketball, I do think that is different. I don't think that with the team sport and the way that it's set up and how the offense is set up and defenses and just all the things, that they should be making the level of money that they're making. Similar to baseball, I think baseball players are also overpaid, and that they should restructure how that's done to reallocate funds in a different capacity. It's not because they're not amazing. Baseball is one of the most difficult sports to play. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that the contracts they're signing is not commensurate with the business as a whole, and I think that needs to change in order for things to move forward. So I would change it to again. I'm a percentage guy. I would change it to a certain percentage level that's allowed to be paid to one player at per league in general. I think that's vitally important. But baseball is completely out of whack with how they're doing things.
I slightly disagree only on the basketball aspect. Well, I disagree on both of it only because with basketball, it follows the same aspect. Like if keep in mind, we're thinking about Steph Curry and SGA. We're gonna pull those two right now. So with Steph Curry and SGA, they are the two that the offense revolves around. Keep in mind, we understand Steph is a defensive liability. We'll never ask that man to be a defensive player of the year. That will never happen. No disrespect, sir, at all. No disrespect. But when we talk offensive, Steph Curry is known as the most lethalest shooter we ever know. I don't think in our lifetime we will see another shooter like Steph Curry. That's just my personal belief. When they win, when Golden State wins, Steph gets a lot of credit. And rightfully so, because a lot of the times when Golden State wins games, it's because Steph Curry comes in and does great. Because the storyline revolves around Steph. Everything offensively revolves around Steph. When they lose, it's still going to revolve around Steph. The team couldn't get around, even though Steph Curry did drop 50. Or defensive woes, Steph Curry couldn't shoot. So it's always going to revolve around that one player. Maybe, like I said, certain percentage, yes. I do believe with baseball, things getting crazily out of control. But like I said, I think it's because of difficulty level and then the competitiveness because other teams are willing to pay just as much. But like I said, another conversation for another channel. Maybe this one for that conversation, but we're going to move on because we got March Madness to discuss. So the Sweet 16 results are in. I have the following matchups for the men and the women. For the men, NCAA Sweet 16, you have the Florida Gators versus Maryland Terrapins, Duke Blue Devils versus the Arizona Wildcats, the Alabama Crimson Tide versus BYU. Don't do it, Mike. Texas Tech Red Raiders versus Arkansas Razorbacks. Michigan State Spartans versus Ole Miss. Tennessee Volunteers versus Kentucky Wildcats. Auburn Tigers versus Michigan Wolverines. And Houston Cougars versus Purdue Boilermakers. That is our list for the men.
You
For
sure?
the women,
Wait. Texas, Purdue, Iowa, Nebraska, Arkansas, Arizona, Illinois, Houston, St. John's, Duke, Alabama, Michigan,
oh yeah, it's supposed to be
Michigan
St.
State,
John and Duke. Yeah,
Michigan, UConn, and Tennessee, Iowa State.
oh my bad. I'm sorry, I forgot. Jordan, you're supposed to be taking over this section.
Okay.
So Jordan,
All right.
the section is now yours.
All right. So, do you want to go over the recap from the previous week, or we want to start with the Sweet 16?
However you deem it so.
All right. So, looking at some of the previous matchups, one of the most surprising to me was St. John's beating Kansas 67-65. It's a testament to how Rick Pitino has really coached that squad, especially how he felt very disappointed last year that the team didn't do as well as they needed to. And I also think it's indicative of Kansas lollygagging a lot during the season. They got the number 4 seed because of their notoriety, but the fact that Darren Peterson was playing like Kawhi Leonard college style, playing 20 minutes one game and then taking a rest for the others, playing scoring 24 and a half and then resting the other half, like that comes back to bite you in the worst way possible, especially when it comes to close games like this. The Kansas really should have been a 2 or 1 seed if Peterson really had his head in the game. Looking at some other scores, Iowa over Florida, 73-72. We're partying like it's 1999 because that's the last time Iowa made it to the Sweet 16. Florida, everybody had thought Florida was going to make it back to the title. They were going to spin the block and run it back, but yeah, that wasn't going to happen. Now, and we're looking at some others. Duke, they finally got together. They mopped the floor with TCU, 81-58. Another close one. Texas beat Gonzaga, 74-68. They're the only double-digit team that's in the Sweet 16. So and mind you, Texas was a first 4. So yeah, always be mindful. There's always going to be one first 4. Like every other year, they're going to be at least in the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8 because that's just how competitive they are. The High Point Arkansas matchup did real good. Arkansas won 94-88, but people kept on sleeping on the High Point. They got those shooters. I'm telling you, those mid-major schools really put in that work. And for Arkansas, I told y'all before about Darius Acuff Jr., DA5. He scored 36 points and 6 assists. That Arkansas team is a force to be reckoned with. He's going at least top 5 in the draft. And Arkansas, speaking of them, they're playing Arizona in the Sweet 16 on Thursday. Now, I don't know how that game could go. Arizona has had pretty much a complete team most of the year. Their star, I believe, was Koa Pete. He's finally becoming the form, but I think that Cinderella stories are meant for the ballers, for those heavy hitters. I think Arkansas might pull off the upset against Arizona. Texas, Purdue, probably gonna be a fight to the finish. I think I'm gonna give Texas the upset over Purdue on that one. Iowa, Nebraska, 9-4. That's I believe, a Big 10 or Big 12 conference. Mike could correct me on that one. I don't know which conference. I know they're both in the same one. I believe it's Big 10. That's going to be a fun matchup. Uh, the crowd is going to be split both ways. It's going to be like a football game. Illinois, Houston. I think Illinois might pull that upset. Friday, St. John's, Duke. Patino versus Shire. Going to be great as far as back to the old days, but I think Duke will pull off the win. Alabama, Michigan. Michigan been trying to get back to their glory days, so I think Michigan might pull that win out. Michigan, UConn. Dan Hurley wants another chance at a ring. UConn, when it comes to this time of the year, they're very dangerous. But you also got Tom Izzo, so you know Izzo is not going to go down without a fight. He will play to the last minute every single time. So expect that to go to the final minute. Probably UConn will win, but probably not by more than 3 or 4. And then Tennessee, Iowa State. Ah, Iowa State will probably just they'll mount the floor at Tennessee. Tennessee has some nice guards. They have some good guard play, but I'm not sure if it'll be enough to take over Iowa State.
I mean, if we're being honest, I'm gonna talk about that Tennessee Virginia game because I'm still pissed that Tennessee won that game. It was tied up 75-75. 75, it was tied up 73-73, I believe. Tennessee, of course, scored the two to go to 75. Virginia gets the ball, and as the guy's going up to the basket, I forget who it was, because the man got pissed me off so bad. He's over here being too flashy, trying to do reverses and all this other stuff. The lane was given. Just shoot it in. Lay it in. That's all you had to do. Lay it in, get the tie. We're good to go. There was this one opportunity to get in, and bro fumbled. Bro fumbled. And from then on, Tennessee just won it from there. Their freshman guard, I think, was Nick something. Not namely related, but he did have a bounce back game because I did see the stats on it. He had 0 points in that first game and came back with 16 in this one. So I think he had a great bounce back game, and that really powered to kind of help him through. And he had some clutch moments at the end of that game to help propel them against Virginia. But I'm here to issue a warning to the both of y'all right here. Hey, I need y'all to look at me when I say what I gotta say. If Duke played St. John the way that they played their last game, Duke going home, players. I need y'all to understand.
Wait. Time out. Didn't Duke win their last game by 30 points?
No, they didn't, if I'm correct. That's because they got late in locking in. They might have won it by 30 points.
I think they won by 25 at least.
Yeah, 25.
So if they played the last game, they're going to destroy St. John's because they just won by 25. But if they play like they played the first game,
you're right.
then they can lose.
My bad.
I can accept that.
Yeah, it was the first one. It was the first. My bad. Yeah, if they play like they played in the first round, yeah, they going home. Because St. John ain't here to play. They going to go home. So I'm here to issue that warning out to y'all. I hope Duke take them seriously like they did in the last game.
So wait a second. I'm going to talk this college basketball for a second. First off, Duke starts like Duke. Because especially now that North Carolina got eliminated in the first round, easy up out of there, fired their coach and everything with their bum ass. Tried to tell Marv he didn't want to listen. Try to give me some excuses and talk about Duke about to only make one extra round. But we already made it an extra round. We in the third round, baby. Let's go. now that y'all understand that we about to win again and beat St. John's and then make it to the Elite Eight, happening easy at that, I want you to understand that I need Alabama to get eliminated because I hate Alabama. And also because of them having their dope selling point guard or dope selling shooting guard, I also think they should be eliminated from the tournament immediately. Um, I like Michigan. I think Michigan's competitive. I think Iowa State's going to win, right? I think Tennessee might pull an upset again just because they're a Cinderella story this year. I think that I like the story of St. John's. I don't like them having to go against Duke. Against Duke, I think Duke is going to win them. Duke has got the better team. They're more talented. They're deeper. They have better depth. They have better star power. Cameron Boozer should win Player of the Year unless Abasanya from BYU wins it. There was also a VJ Edgecombe, if I'm not mistaken, that was also in that competition and in that conversation as well. And then a gentleman that Jordan keeps mentioning from Arkansas as well. But what I will say, this is what's very interesting this year. This year in college basketball, the U.S. has all of a sudden started being competitive again. Europe was dominating for years and years, right? All of a sudden now the U.S. is back, baby. We back from a college basketball and a basketball perspective overall. You're not going through your Alex Sars of the world. No, no. You're going to go Abasanya. You're going to go Cameron Boozer, right? You're going to go VJ Edgecombe. Like, these are U.S. players drafted in the first 3 picks, I would say, this year, is what it's looking like to me. This uh, March Madness has been crazy competitive. I think they said it's 1 in 6 quintillion chances that you'll get your entire bracket perfect, which is apparently unfortunate, and none of us are ever going to do it. But we'll keep trying, and we'll keep having the madness that is the bracket. All of our brackets were busted in the first day when Wisconsin lost, right? Which was very interesting to me. But what I love about it is that it's really an any. It reminds me of football, any given Sunday, but now it's any given day because you never know what day the basketball's coming out on, right? Um, I'll tell you that Duke has an ability to win it all, especially if they play like they played the last game. To your point, though, if they play like they played in round one, I think they underestimated their opponent in round one, to be honest, and they just kind of were playing half measures, and that's why they almost lost. But they showed you in game two what they were capable of when they went on that run. I think the run was something like 16-2 or something like that. It was a crazy run, right? Um, Additionally, I think that it's much more competitive this year, even than other years to me. This is a very competitive year, right? The teams that are getting eliminated, they're losing by two. Florida being eliminated after winning the title last year. Um, it's an open opportunity for anybody to succeed. It's anybody's game right now. That's what makes March Madness so fun. That's what makes it so exciting. And yeah, I'm just ready for more of it. And I'm happy that North Carolina already got eliminated. As I said, I don't know if I said that again, but I will happily celebrate that, and I'll even celebrate more when Bama gets eliminated because war damn. All right, I'll let y'all go.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is, and Mike gonna hate me on this. I think Alabama might shock and get the win on Michigan. I think they got the squad to do it. We'll see what happens. I mean, at the end of losing, I ain't got to fight in here because I ain't got a college team at all. So I ain't got to fight in this whatsoever. But if Alabama ends up winning, hey, I'm a happy person. I think Iowa State ends Tennessee's run. Purdue should continue everything, but Texas has been balling as of late. Arkansas should win that matchup against Arizona. I just don't believe in their squad. I'm sorry, I just don't believe in them. Iowa, Nebraska, that's going to be a good matchup. Give me Nebraska. Illinois versus Houston. I don't like either of those teams. I'm going to be fair. I don't like either of them. I guess give me Illinois. St. John Duke. I'm gonna be, like I said, I'm gonna be the unbiased person here. The other two, they're gonna hate me. I'm going to St. John. I'm sorry. I like how they played the last few games. I think they got a chance to shock the world. Like I said, their coach said that they didn't get a chance to, showcase what they can really do. And this will be the opportunity to showcase what they do. What better else to do it against the number one ranked team in the entire country? You got your shot, coach. Let's see what you made of. And then Michigan, UConn. I'm sorry, give me Michigan State. I don't trust the UConn men. I trust the UConn women. I trust them more than I trust the men. It's a fact. We all know it. Like, if the men, if they end up winning this match, like I said, I ain't got no stock in this. I'm not losing no money nor no sleep on it. So it is what it is. And then we got the women that are set up right now. You got the Duke women facing off against the LSU Tigers. Minnesota versus UCLA. Kentucky versus Texas. Louisville versus Michigan. Oklahoma versus South Carolina. TCU versus Virginia. UNC, they're still in, versus UConn, and Notre Dame versus Vanderbilt. So we gonna go ahead and get this out the way so Mike ain't gotta say it. UConn gonna beat the brakes off of UNC, and then therefore we don't have to hear about anything UNC for the rest of the basketball season. All right, we gonna get that out of the way so that way we get. Because I'm sorry, Marv, if you're looking at this, Marv, I'm here to tell you right now, I am sorry for this, but they're playing UConn. Y'all getting sent home. Like, we can stop this. They getting sent home. We can stop all the charades. We not talking about the UConn men. We talk about the UConn women. This is a different sport, different avenue. They play well. They played a good fight. This game's over for them. UConn goes to the Elite Eight. I'm sorry. I do have a little stock in that. So we're going to go ahead and get that out of the way. Outside of that, other than South Carolina winning, because I think Coach Stanley has been doing an awesome job over there, I don't have too much stock in anything else other than maybe the LSU Tigers. Maybe. But again, like I said, for the other two, don't come at me about the Duke hate. It's not Duke hate. It's not impersonal. It's just business. That's all it is to it.
So I'll go now to let Jordan go. So I know he's about to apparently crash out, but or pass out. One of the two. He's about to crash out and pass out at the same time. I ain't never seen this man sleep while he looked like he about to crash out. It's wild. You need a pillow. That's what it looked like. But anyway, what I will say is that I hate that Duke has to go into LSU. Um, LSU still has a squad, but I don't think that they're as good as they were last year. So I'm gonna go Duke in the upset. Um, I got UConn winning over North Carolina. Absolutely. I don't even think that's going to be close. I think UConn wins by 30. Um, I think that South Carolina also wins by 30. I think that UConn and South Carolina are actually destined to meet in the finals, if unless they're on the same side of the bracket. They're either meeting in the Final Four or they're meeting in the finals. There's that's the only way it's happening.
I think they're
Um,
destined to be in the Final Four, if I'm looking at this bracket right.
yeah, you could be. You could be. If so, then I think that the winner of that game determines who's the national champion. Because both of those teams are fantastic right now, and I think that I'm surprised that South Carolina wasn't the 2 seed. To be honest with you, but I think is Texas still in it?
Yep, number one.
Yeah, so Texas was a 1 seed who actually won the SEC, and that's probably why South Carolina was a 2 seed. But South Carolina should have been a 1 seed as well, to be honest. If they weren't, that's surprising. Anyway, I think that Texas has a real chance to win it all this year. They're deep. They have fantastic front court, great coaching. They're in a type of conference where you can, you get hot and you can actually really make a run. Um, I think that the only challenge that they'll have is if they run into UConn or they run into South Carolina. And they beat South Carolina for the SEC title game. So they've proven that they can do that as well. If they beat South Carolina, they're going to beat UConn. Whoever wins between those two, if Texas and if they're on the same side of the bracket, then the other one's going to win. Is what I'll say. I think it's going to be a matter of powerhouses. The interesting thing about the women's bracket is that it's usually a lot of 1 seeds that go to the Final Four. It's difficult to get out those lower levels because you're facing such powerhouse teams. There's a big disparity, I think, in women's basketball between the top teams and the mid-tier teams, bigger than the men's league for sure. So That's what I'll say there. Jordan, I'll pass to you.
As far as let's say the women's college basketball goes, I ain't got much of nothing for it. It's either going to be UConn, South Carolina, or LSU. I mean, if one of the underdogs like Notre Dame or TCU has something to say, I I think they might have something to say. Let's say if Olivia Miles goes off for another triple double or Hidalgo from Notre Dame, let's say they decide to just, um, let's say she goes off for like 48, 7, and 9 steals and pulls off an upset. They might have something to say. They may catch UConn on a bad day, but it's going to be between 3 teams, in my opinion. UConn, LSU, or South Carolina. The championship already has been decided at that point. The champion has been decided. It's just a matter of the games playing out.
Whatever. Well, all right. Well, we'll see what happens. I think we have some March Madness happening tomorrow, I think. No. We got some Thursday and Friday. Yeah. So Thursday and Friday. So we'll have those updates for you on the next episode. As we are airing live for our next episode. Now comes the fun part of the stream and the live episode. It is time for the sports games. I got a whole bunch of games for the fellas to enjoy in and partake in and debate in. It's going to be so much fun for them. I got a whole bunch of games for them. We're going to start it off with a Keep 3 Cut 5 edition. Surprisingly enough, we haven't talked enough about the NFL. So I got to bring some NFL into this. Right now, we got a Keep 3 Cut 5 edition, wide receiver running back duo edition. The fellas get to decide who it is, who's in, and who's watching from outside of the club because they can't get in. All right, here we go. First duo on the list, Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones.
This is a keep 3, cut 5?
Keep 3, cut 5.
I'm going to cut them because I don't believe in Aaron Jones. I think Justin Jefferson is the best receiver in the NFL, but I don't think he carries enough to bring Aaron Jones up. Aaron Jones, to me, is as he stands right now, is not even an average tier running back, in my opinion. So I would cut them as a result.
Going off for right now, right? Not prime, but right now.
Right now. Also, do not put excluding quarterback. So exclude quarterback in your decision making.
Well, he does have Kyler Murray throwing the ball. That's true. But either way, I don't trust Aaron Jones. He's coming off of injury. He had his lowest season in output he was ever having, even before the injury. He got lucky to be re-signed for like a $4 million deal. He took a pay cut. He's an older back. I think he's 30 now, 31, which for a back is old. His receiving skills are still there, but I would, from a fantasy football perspective, I would sell all my shares of Aaron Jones. You should have sold him 2 years ago when you would have got a better return. But I believe in Justin Jefferson, absolutely, but I'm cutting that.
I want to keep because I'm looking at the skill on Justin Jefferson alone, and I would keep. But because Aaron Jones is there, I got to cut it.
All right, we are cutting on the Vikings duo. All right, we're starting strong with a cut. Next on the list, Jamar Chase and Chase Brown.
Keep.
Well, that was easy.
Easy keep, bro. Chase Brown was a top 10 back last year. Jamar Chase was a top 3 wide receiver.
Chase squared. So, yeah, we're going to keep it.
All right, here we go. Next on the list, Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs.
Keep. Easy keep.
The way it looked like y'all about to shut this thing down after this.
That's right.
Next on the list, A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley.
Keep. And I don't believe in Saquon this year. or AJ Brown. But talent wise, I think that they're an easy keep. Now, here's the interesting thing. I think Bijan Robinson, Drake London is a better keep. I'll tell you that straight up. Because we're gonna have that, right? I think that what are some other better keeps there?
I'm not
I
taking Bijan and Drake over AJ and Saquon. And
I
no,
would take Bijan and Drake over AJ and
and
Saquon.
no
I absolutely
football
would. Bijan is the best
dimension
back in the
ever.
league. Bijan is the best back in the league right now. Um,
But no football dimension in real and fantasy I will ever take them two over AJ and
that's
Saquon.
because your bias is showing and you're an Eagles fan. If you say that you wouldn't do it in fantasy, this is also why you haven't won in fantasy. I would take that combination over them immediately in fantasy. In
You're
fact,
looking
please
at
join my league so I can make that trade with you right now. Like, yeah, absolutely. 150%. Join my dynasty league so I can make that trade with you right now, like today, this moment. Like I'll send you an invite
I have a
because
love hate relationship with dynasty leagues right now.
clearly, because if
Um,
you talk about fantasy football ever again, I'm gonna have to come through the
but
through the
I did not
phone.
mention fantasy football. I just said in the
You
fantasy
said
division
not in
in
this
real.
reality or another. The only other reality is fantasy football. In which case, you're not even
Y'all
allowed to
mentioned that.
speak because you
Y'all wanted to
drafted
bring that
Justin
trauma
Fields in the
back to
first
me.
round.
I didn't do that. That
You
wasn't me.
drafted Justin Fields in the first round. You should never talk fantasy ever again. You should stick only to regular football. Now, what I'll
For the
say is
record,
this:
y'all. For the record, I
what
am still a fantasy football champion. I've been champion of multiple leagues,
you
so
ain't
I'm not just gonna
you don't
act
won
like
free leagues with people that you play in computers. That doesn't count.
no.
Um,
They still they still count.
they
He
don't.
faced me for it,
Ain't
but he
nobody ever
faced me
gave you a
for it.
trophy for winning the free league.
It's
So then they
still a
don't count.
league.
Cancel. They don't count.
It's still a league.
Nope. It's not a league. You might as well just be throwing away
And
Skittles.
and
Don't throw
and
away league.
and there were two paid leagues that I won. There was one paid league we paid. We did like what
Well,
2 years
five
in a row,
dollars.
one back to back. So
You did a $5 buy-in. That
we're
does
not
not
gonna do
count.
that.
$5 buy-ins do not count.
It was my chapter's fantasy league, and I won back to back. Actually, I almost won. I think I did a three-peat. So we're not we're not gonna do
That's
that.
because your chapter must not know anything about football. That's okay. No disrespect, but they
Oh
must
no,
not
they
know
do.
anything about
They're all
football.
football heads. So yeah,
Not
they
if
do.
you won back to back to back. You please okay. I'm
I
gonna
was a
send you an
Neo
invite.
in that chapter
This
and won back to back. So
I'm gonna tell you the
yeah,
truth. I'm gonna send you an invite this season to join a real league so we can actually see where your skills at. I have a opportunity in one of my leagues right now. It's the dynasty league. You can take over a team, um, and I'll let you pick whatever the best team that you think is, and we will see what happens. Because what I have to tell you is that as a person who's won a lot of championships, Nick has beat me this year. He beat me one time. I want to say ever, but it is a person that's won a lot of leagues. Like not understating it. I love how Nick is shining up my belt for the future because I'm getting that belt next year. It's gonna be mine. And I'm gonna be doing the discount double check dance the whole time, and you're gonna be up there sad the whole time. I'm gonna have you send me some metal wax to clean my trophy. So I'm telling you now. But the person that's won a lot of leagues, though, I'm gonna tell you, ain't
Oh
no
my
way.
goodness.
I put money on it. Matter of fact, we can bet again. We can shave your head and shave your
no,
beard. Join my
no,
league
no more
and
bets.
get
No,
destroyed again.
no,
Okay?
no more bets.
You need to
Absolutely
bet.
not.
You gotta bet every time. So
No,
what I'll say is this: I like AJ Brown, Saquon more a lot, but I don't like. I like Bijan, Drake London is a better combination. Let me see who's another group though. Let's think of some other combinations before we eliminate that. Right. So he's gonna say James Cook and old buddy from the Bears that just got traded over there.
Oh,
DJ
DJ
Moore.
Moore?
That's not a better combination than AJ Brown and Saquon, so we can eliminate them, right? He's gonna say, um, who else has a good combination there? He's gonna say Derrick Henry, Zay Flowers. That's not a better combination than AJ Brown, Saquon. So we eliminate them there, right? He's gonna say, he might say DK Metcalf and the running back from the Steelers. I'm going to eliminate that. There's not a better combination there, right? He would say Green Bay Packers. He'd say Christian Watson, Josh Jacobs. Not a better combination there. I'd eliminate them there. He'd say, uh, let me see. He couldn't say he can't use you can't use tight end. It's just the only wide receiver running back, right?
Yeah, only wide receiver running back duo.
Okay. Okay. Only wide receiver running back. He would say other wide receiver. He would say JSN, but the Kenneth Walker already got traded, so he said Jack Charbonnet. We'd eliminate that. If it was JSN and Kenneth Walker, we keep that. But JSN and Charbonnet, we'd eliminate that. He'd say Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams. Now, I would take Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams over AJ Brown and Saquon. And I would also take Drake London and Bijan Robinson over AJ Brown and Saquon. So I'm going to say cut AJ Brown and Saquon because I came up with two different options that I like better than that combination.
Keep. It's a keep. I'm still
Need a
keeping.
decision, fellas. Somebody got to drive the
I'm going to
bus.
say cut. We can
I'm
rock, paper,
keeping.
scissors. You
I'm
want to rock, paper?
keeping. I'm keeping.
We rock,
They're
paper,
Super Bowl
scissors?
champions. I'm keeping them.
Them out. They didn't win the Super Bowl last year.
Super Bowl
So
champions. I'm keeping them.
you doing a rock, paper, scissors? Because I already said cut.
I'm saying keep. We can flip
Okay.
a coin. We can flip a coin.
Why you rock, paper, scissors is a very simple game. It's only
No,
three answers.
flip a coin is much better.
It's paper or scissors.
I'm flipping a coin.
You have a two-sided coin, and nobody else can see the results. No, Joker. You're not doing that. You're not playing those two-face. No. Rock, paper, scissors. Let's go. Hurry up. Come on. Let's be quick. We got to move on.
You got me on what? Coin?
You ready?
Rock, paper,
scissors, shoot. Got him again. We cutting them. We cutting them. He done lost every rock, paper, scissors we done ever.
It's crazy work out here.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am wearing a Jalen Hurts hoodie, and I hate the fact that I have to cut AJ and Saquon. Forgive me.
I'm so sorry. As an Eagles fan, it hurts. Actually, take that off. Put that back on. Actually, no, because I stay prepared with it. You gotta stay ready, so you ain't gotta get ready. As an Eagles fan, Saquon, AJ, Jalen, to my whole Eagles fan base, if y'all ever see this, I hate to do it, but AJ and Saquon, y'all are out of here. Because next on the list is Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams.
So, do I like Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams, or do I like Drake London and Bijan? I would go Drake London and Bijan. Because I like Kyron. I don't like him more than I like Bijan. I like Puka. I like Puka a lot. Puka is a top 3 wide receiver. But I think that Drake London is like number 7, in my opinion. So if you say Bijan's number 1 and Drake London number 7, and you say Kyron's number 10 and Puka's number 3, that math balances out that I would pick Bijan and Drake London over Puka and Kyron.
Yeah. So you're saying cut?
I'm saying cut.
I've been said cut. Like,
okay. I just want to make sure we have that. I just want to make sure. Next on the list, Zay Flowers and King Henry.
Cut. I've been said cut on that. He about to crash out and call Bijan and Drake London. He gonna crash out.
All right.
Because he didn't say Bijan or Drake London yet.
Next on the list, Xavier Worthy and Kenneth Walker III.
Cut. Easy cut.
All right. Cut.
All right. Well, Keep 3 Cut 5 edition. Y'all already know what time it is. Mike driving the bus, so Mike got to take this.
What was the last one? What was the last one?
He ain't said it yet. That's why he laughed so hard.
Justin Jefferson and Aaron Jones. You guys kept Jamar Chase and Chase Brown. Easy keep. You guys kept Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs. Another easy keep. You guys cut A.J. Brown and Saquon Barkley. Keep in mind, the Pittsburgh Steelers fan cut y'all, not the Eagles fan. The Steelers fan cut y'all.
No, Jordan cut them because he can't play rock, paper, scissors.
That too.
My hand my hand was forced in this.
It could be rock, paper, or scissors.
You guys cut Puka Nakua and Kyron Williams. You guys cut Zay Flowers and Derrick Henry. You guys cut Xavier Worthy and K9 Kenneth Walker III. Your final key is none other than Mike Evans and CMC.
That's still good. I'll take that. But I
No,
preferred. I would have took
no.
AJ Brown and Saquon in
This is
hindsight.
an older Mike Evans. Saquon's fresher than CMC.
I would have
See,
took AJ and
see,
Saquon. You're right. I would have
see,
took AJ and Saquon.
no,
But
no,
Bijan
nope,
and Drake London should have been on your
nope.
list.
I know
That was the
Mike
best
Evans won a
combination.
Super Bowl, but AJ Brown's better.
I told
Sorry.
you he was gonna crash
Nope.
out. I
Nope.
called you.
Nope. Absolutely not.
Hey, Mike, you drove this bus.
See,
So if
this
if
is
the wheels
exactly
fell off,
why.
it's on you.
This is exactly why I said AJ Brown and Saquon. But no. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you see what I gotta deal with? As an Eagles fan, you see what I gotta deal with. Rock, paper, scissors. I said flip a coin. Like I said flip a coin.
You better learn how to play rock paper scissors. What? It's a simple game.
Hold on. Just for kicks and giggles. Jordan, if I said heads or tails, what would you pick?
Heads.
You still would have lost.
No, I would have picked tails. I always pick tails.
Oh my God.
But you know what's even worse? He didn't even pick Bijan or Drake. Because Drake is ass. Like, come on.
Drake is not ass. That's not true.
Yes.
That's not true.
Yes. Compared to AJ Brown, yes.
No, AJ Brown had a lot of drops last year
London.
and actually was nowhere near the regular AJ Brown last year.
All right.
Talent-wise, yes.
See,
stats-wise, no.
This is why
y'all
you
got me.
Guns.
It should have been Bijan and Drake. Bijan's the best back in the league.
No, why would I add him in there? Y'all know me. Y'all know me. Y'all should have realized it. All right. Next on the sports games, we have the NFL Wordle. So the fellas give me a random person, and then we decide if they're in the correct conference, the correct division, the correct team, the correct position, and the correct jersey number.
Wait. I'm confused. Break down this game.
Okay, I remember this game. I know this game.
5 guesses.
So I pick a random player.
You have to determine the player in the correct conference, the player, and I give you the conference, the division, the team, the position, and the jersey number.
All right. Let's do it.
So who wants to start us off?
AFC South.
You got to give me a player.
Oh.
Wait. I'm confused now. I thought that you was going to
give me the player. I'll tell you what, because you have to match all 5. You have to match the conference, the division, the team, the position, and the jersey number.
How are we supposed to guess the player first? That doesn't make any sense.
So say, like, for example, if you say AJ Brown, right? For an example, I'll give you a free one. If you say AJ Brown, I say it's in the correct conference, incorrect division, incorrect team, correct position, incorrect jersey number. The number is higher than 11.
Okay, so let's try again. That sounds very random. I thought it was going to go the opposite way around, but okay. So
okay,
you can lead off.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're building while we're flying, so just forgive us.
All right, so I'm going to say, so Jordan said AFC South. That was his first guess.
AFC South would be the incorrect conference, incorrect division. Regardless, it's the incorrect team. You didn't give me a player, so the position and the jersey number is both incorrect.
All right, so we know it's in the NFC, and we know it's not the NFC South, right? So it's either NFC West, East, or North.
NFC
right?
North.
All right, so correct conference, incorrect division. And regardless, everything else is incorrect. Incorrect team, position, and jersey.
All right, so I'm thinking it's going to be NFC West is what I'm thinking it's going to be. So now that I think it's NFC West, I'm going to go with a position because I think that's going to give us more information. So the position I'm going to go with is I'm going to go with George Kittle, tight end, San Francisco 49ers.
All right, so correct conference, correct division, incorrect team, incorrect position, and George Kittle is what, number 5?
85.
85.
85. Number is lower than 85.
You said incorrect position,
Incorrect position.
correct conference, correct
Division.
correct.
Correct conference. Correct division.
So we in the
Everything
NFC
else.
West.
Marvin
The number is
Harrison
less than
Jr.,
85, and it's not a
Arizona Cardinals receiver number 18.
Let's see. 1, 2.
Marvin Harrison.
All right.
Harrison Jr.
So correct conference. Correct division. Incorrect team. Correct position. But jersey is higher than 4.
Harrison's 18, isn't he?
It's still, sorry, higher than 18 still.
All right, 18. All right.
You got 2 more guesses.
All right. So what is JSN's number? I think JSN's number is like
11.
5. That's 11. So it's not JSN.
James-
What is Cooper Kupp's number?
Cooper Kupp's number is 10.
So it can't be Cooper Kupp. What is Devontae Adams' number?
17.
So it can't be 17. So it has to be higher than 17. So it has to be a receiver that's a number 19 or up. Is Rashid Shaheed, what is his number?
22.
Rashid Shaheed is my guess.
Correct conference, correct division, correct team, correct position, correct number. The guess is Rashid Shaheed.
Let's go.
That was a good adjustment, Mike. That was a good adjustment there. All right.
Another one, or was
Next.
that it?
You said what?
Is there another one, or was that it?
Oh, we got 3 more.
Okay.
Oh, Lord.
The next game is who ruins the team.
Nick.
You have 4 players on an NBA championship squad. One addition ruins the chemistry. Who is it? Here's the core team members. So these are the members play on the team. Don't worry about position. Just know they're on the championship team. These are the core members. Nikola Jokic, Anthony Edwards, Jason Tatum, Drew Holiday. They're the core members. Don't worry about how it melds together. Those are the members on the championship team. Now, here's the player. Who would be the player to ruin this team?
That currently plays?
Yes. No, I'm going to give you a list of options.
Oh.
So you get to discuss among yourselves. Who do you think best ruins this team? So you have 1 of 4 options. James Harden, Trae Young, Kyrie Irving, or Draymond Green.
It's not Draymond. Draymond's a complimentary piece there.
What's the 4? Wait, what's the 4 again?
He said Jokic. He said Anthony Edwards. He said Trae Young. He said Kyrie.
No.
I meant the 4, the starting 4.
The starting 4
is
Jokic, Ant-Man, Jason Tatum, and Drew Holiday.
Oh, those are Trae Young too.
Trae Young.
No.
It's Trae Young.
Is part of the other team.
It would be Trae. Unfortunately, it'd be Trae Young.
So you either add James Harden, Trae Young, Kyrie Irving, or Draymond Green. So which one of those 4 would ruin the team?
It's not Draymond. I think it's Trae Young. I think you're right. He doesn't fit within what you're rocking because you already have scoring with Ant-Man. You've already got perimeter and scoring with Jokic. You've already got a fantastic two-way player, Jason Tatum. You've already got a defender, Drew Holiday. The only thing that Trae Young is doing at that point is shooting up threes and missing. I'm going to go Trae Young.
No, the only problem is because if Trae Young is just specifically for assists, then he would be the best. But I think
Drew Holiday can do assists. Jason Tatum can do assists. Jokic can do assists. He's not needed for assists.
But Trae Young can spread the floor. But then again, James Harden could.
But so can Jokic. So can Tatum. So can all the other 4 already are floor spreaders. But they don't need to be attacking.
The only problem with Trae Young though is just matchups wise. Like if he's in a matchup against a point guard that's taller than him, and unfortunately almost all point guards are taller than him.
Right. And his defense isn't good. I would say Trae Young easily.
I don't know. Y'all already know my pick.
James Harden.
Yep, absolutely. Y'all already know my pick, James Harden. If you're saying Trae Young because Trae Young can't, he's not adding value to it, James Harden is not adding the same amount of value to it, and in fact, doing worse.
I disagree strongly. One, James Harden is 6'5". Two, James Harden can play the 1, the 2, or the 3. In fact, I would put James Harden at the 1. I'd put Drew Holiday at the 2. I'd put Jason Tatum at the 3. Or I put Ant-Man at the 3. I put Tatum at the 4, and I put Jokic at the 5. Because with that type of lineup, one, they're going to score a ton of points. Two, defensively, they're going to get cooked, but only from Harden's perspective. Because when you put Drew Holiday out there at the 2, you have the defense that you're looking for out there on the backcourt. For the perimeter from the front court, you've got Jokic, and then you've also got Tatum. Tatum is 6'9". He can play the 4, play a stretch 4 in that capacity. He's usually probably better at a 3. But because he's redundant to Ant-Man, you put Ant-Man at the 3, Ant-Man at the slash. I'm scoring a ton of points, and I'm having James Harden facilitate and have assist and stretch the floor. Much better opportunity than Trae Young for me.
Still, but the thing is, and we all know this, yes, you could put James Harden at the 1, but that requires James Harden to actually dish the ball out, in
He's led
which
the league in assists before.
Probably so, but that
He has.
requires them to work as a team. Like Jason Tatum has worked as a team before. Like we've seen this all play out. I don't think because keep in mind, if I'm adding any of these 4 to it, keep in mind, they're just running the offense. They're not the main scorer because you have Jokic, you have Ant-Man, you have Jason Tatum. I'm not asking this particular player to add any shooting value to it. Like I know he can shoot, I know he can score, but I'm not asking them to.
Well, then
So
the best add-on to that group would be Draymond Green, because he doesn't need to score and he can only defend, and he'd be the best fit there. But you say who's the worst fit? When I say the
I
worst
think
fit, I'm thinking Trae Young.
I'm thinking if we're going best to worst, I agree with you on Draymond. I think Draymond would be first, Kyrie would be second, Trae Young would be third, and then James Harden would just be fourth.
I think it
He
would
would be the
go
one.
Draymond. I think it would go. I think it would go Draymond, James Harden, Kyrie, then Trae Young, because Kyrie's presence is unnecessary, and Kyrie's gonna he's gonna convolute the middle of the field of the court. He's gonna be a slasher going to the paint. You don't need him in the paint. You already got Ant-Man going to the paint. You already got Jokic in the paint. You got Jason Tatum going to the paint. He's gonna convolute the paint, and he's not great at 3-point shooting, and he's a ball hog, a bit of a ball hog comparatively, more so than Harden, who's actually led the league in assists, as I mentioned.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think James Harden is the person for me. Y'all already know it's that unbiased hatred. It is what it is. I
Unbiased
still
hatred.
say James Harden because at the end of the day, if you need a person to score 60, we got at least 2 players from this core team that can score 60,
Okay.
if not 3. So I don't need somebody to score. I don't need somebody to add an assist value to it. You just need to be there to facilitate. And honestly, like I said, only 2 of these people are champions. So they understand team ball at least a little bit. Draymond comes from a winning culture.
So
Kyrie,
three
at least.
three of those are champions. Drew Holiday is a champion. Jason
No.
Tatum
I'm
is a
saying from
champion.
the
Jokic is a
no.
champion.
From the 4. I know
Oh,
from the core team, I know about
of the
them.
4,
I'm saying
it's Kyrie and Draymond that are both champions.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. 2 of them have won. So they come from at least winning a championship. They understand the team ball that is necessary to win it. Just when your time comes, shoot and make it. Or when your time comes, defend like your life depends on it. Like if we're looking at the other 2 between Trae Young and James Harden, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't think I need Trae Young in that instance. I think he's a good facilitator, and that's fine. But I think he's such a liability defensively and against bigger guards that you just mentioned. Um, he doesn't bring enough value for me, especially because again, you don't need the scoring. So I need a facilitator who doesn't necessarily need to score, but is a threat offensively. To me, that's going to be more James Harden than it's going to be Trae Young. But
All
either
right.
way, we can go to the next one.
We can go to the next one. All right. So only one can stay on a dream team you have the following NFL players: Josh Allen as your quarterback, Christian McCaffrey as your running back, Justin Jefferson as your wide receiver one, and your defensive edge star talent, none other than Micah Parsons. However, you can only keep one player for the next 5 years. The other three are immediately gone, traded to other teams. Who stays?
So give me the four again. It
Who's
was
the receiver?
So Josh Allen at quarterback, CMC for running back, Jettis, Jay Jettis for your wide receiver one, and Michael Parsons for your defensive edge.
I'm gonna go Jettas, not even close.
I'm gonna go with Micah.
Because you said 5 years.
You
First
gotta
off, Michael
keep him.
Parsons is coming off of injury. I don't trust him 5 years from now. Two, Jettis has proved he can do it with any quarterback, and he's not even hit his prime yet. Three,
You can't do it with JJ McCarthy.
well, he had about 800 yards, JJ McCarthy, and was injured for 2 games, so he would have had 1,000 yards otherwise. And he did it his first season with JJ McCarthy, and he had over 1,000 yards with him then. Um,
That was his first year.
Technically, maybe not. Maybe you're right because he did have it with Sam Darnold. You're right. He was rookie and he got injured. You're right. Um, I think Jettas is quarterback proof. I don't think Parsons last season was actually kind of subpar playing for the Packers. I don't think he can be schemed past. Josh Allen's a great pickup there, but I don't like Josh Allen 5 years from now. I like Jettas 5 years from now. CMC absolutely not. 5 years from now he'd be
I'm
retired.
not taking. Yeah, I'm not
Uh,
taking Josh Allen top. No,
I would
no.
take. I'm not gonna take CMC. He'd retire. I'm not taking Parsons because I think you could scheme past him. I would 100% take Jettis. I think that's easy for me. Not even close.
I would take. I would choose Micah.
I don't know here. I'm stuck between two. I'm stuck between Josh Allen and Jettas. And Mike makes an excellent point on Jettas because, again, Jettas is quarterback proof. You see it in cases like Larry Legend. You see it in cases like Mike Evans. Like, if you're that guy, you're that guy. You're going to get your yards regardless. And that type of ability is like underrated. But to have a quarterback still get you 14 wins, like 13,
How,
14
how
wins,
old is Josh Allen?
should be like what, 27?
I think he's older than 27. I think Jettis is 27.
Let's find out.
Josh
He's got to
Allen
be like
turns
30.
30. So he turns 30 this year.
He turns 30 this year. So 5 years puts him 35, technically prime of his years. So I don't think I think I think Josh Allen is the pick here. I don't like it,
I
but I
think
think
Jettis is
Josh
the
Allen
pick.
is the actual pick
I
here.
think Jettis is the pick
I
easy.
think Micah Parsons because he plays on defense. He's 26. He'll be 27. At 32, he could still be an elite defender in this
I,
league.
I
With
don't
Justin
know.
Jefferson, although he is great right now, I think sometimes the usage can. I'm not sure if it's the law of diminishing returns that's the term here, but he keeps on being used, and his not his skill will dwindle, but his fatigue will increase a lot because he's being overused. There's not another receiver that can help him when it
That's
comes
not
to
true. Jordan
coverage.
Addison's on the same team. They also have TJ Hawkinson as well. So I don't think that he has an overusage. What I will say who has overusage is actually Michael Parsons, interestingly enough, doesn't have an overusage specifically playing in the Packers because they have a hell of a rotation. But if you look at how he played last year, I have him in fantasy. This is why I know he was a shell of himself comparatively from the stats that he was putting up. He got double teamed or triple teamed often, and he got out schemed most of the time. Also, they didn't utilize him right. They kept utilizing him as a right edge rusher, and they should have used him as an outside linebacker based upon the scheme because they run a 3-4 instead of a 4-3. Um, Additionally, that being said, that's another reason why I think Jettis, because Jettis could play in the slot. He can play out wide. He can play the X. He can play the Y. He can play the Z. He can be getting the ball on the wide receiver screen. I like Josh Allen. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's a bad pick. I just don't trust Josh Allen's going to age well because most of his game is played upon physicality as opposed to just pure accuracy or being a drop down passer. And I don't think he's going to adjust his game as he ages. I think he's going to still try to play physically.
I
But he
think
and Josh Allen plays off of skill alone. He does his smarts doesn't kick in at all. Like that's why I have to agree with Mike on that. But I still, if it's not Parsons, it's Jettis. But I still believe a defensive player like Micah for the future will pay dividends.
So do the
again,
math
there's
on
not
that. What did you said he'll be 33 in 5 years?
32,
He'll
Micah.
be 32 in 5 years. That's
Yeah.
not bad. He's still be in his prime. 27 to 32 is his prime years, especially in the NFL. I'm not against Micah Parsons, but for me, he's a backup option. Jettis is my number one there, and I don't think it's close for me.
I still got here's my deal, here's my take on it. Because I do agree with you on the point that he's trying to be more physical, and that does come with a lot of injuries. So I do believe in his older age, if Josh Allen's smart enough in the next 5 years, he starts learning how to be that pocket passer and start getting a little bit. It's kind of like the
That's
Matt
not his
Stafford
game.
thing.
That's not his game.
But Matt Stafford was like that. You
Matt
remember how
Stafford,
Matt Stafford was?
time out. That's
Also,
not true. Matt
Justin
Stafford was not
Jefferson
a
will be the
runner.
same age too.
Matt Stafford
So
was not a runner. That's
He
not. He was
wasn't a
never a
runner,
runner. He
but he
was always
could
a
run.
pocket passer.
But he could run though.
Josh Allen runs first and passes second. Let's put it in
I get
perspective,
it, but
right?
it's still similar. So what I'm
They're
saying
not
is,
similar.
it's
They're entirely different types of players. So a better example of how Josh Allen plays, right, would be a more accurate Vince Young, right? Um, that's a similar size, that's a similar estimate, similar arm talent, right? But also a similar propensity to set himself up to get injured. Right now, he's relying on bullying people over, running around all the time, and then doing some type of Hail Mary. Which, don't get me wrong, he plays a lot of hero ball. I'm not against it. But 5 years from now, I don't trust him. I'd go Jettis. 5 years from now, Jettis will be 29. Yeah, I trust Jettis.
yeah. Like I said, I still think it's Allen because again, you got to have a decent quarterback,
You do?
and he's done it with scrubs as wide receivers. So like we can't just knock that talent around. And like I said, I'm stuck between either or. It's literally I'm giving like a half a point edge to Josh Allen only because he's done more with less. And with Jettas, he's quarterback proof, but still needs a somewhat competent quarterback to show how good he is. Because you can run the most elite routes. If your quarterback is throwing ducks like Tua, it's not going to make a difference. It's kind of like, think about Tyreek Hill. We all know Tyreek Hill is legendary, and his speed is kind of like his separation is unmatched. But because Tua can't throw the ball like he needs to, it's really hurt Tyreek Hill's opportunities to really like showcase how well he is. Because
I think
Tyreek
it's the
Hill is
O line when it
arguably,
comes to Tua, as I always say, but that's just me. I
if
think
you
Tua.
give somebody, if you give somebody like Jordan Love or Tyreek Hill, we're talking about Tyreek Hill might be the number one option in all of football. Absolutely number one option because Jordan Love can throw that. So that's why I think it might. We'll see what happens. Um, I will save our last Who Ruins the Team for another episode because unfortunately we are out of time, and that is our whistle for today, folks. But the game never really ends. Thank you for spending your time with us, sharing opinions, passion, and a love for sports that goes beyond the scoreboards. If you like what you heard, subscribe, follow, and join the conversation. Until next time, stay competitive, stay curious, and keep loving the game. This is